Welcome to the show. Welcome to Your Thought Life Podcast. I am your host, Michael Anderson. If you haven't already, do take a few moments after you've enjoyed this episode and leave us a rating and a review. It helps us tremendously to reach more people just like you seeking this style of content, and we most certainly appreciate this act of kindness. Today we're talking about why you're tired all the time. This is, for all intents and practical purposes, an epidemic of sorts. 40% of adults report feeling tired most of the days of the week. Did you catch that? Most of the days of the week. And by the time they get to Friday, they are literally wiped out. These aren't just random stats. These are circumstances that are playing out, that are impacting the sleep and the quality of life of people who are unfortunately in this cycle. Fatigue has become so common that we almost treat it like a badge of honor. The whole hustle culture just really amplifies it as one of the necessities in order to get ahead. But the truth is, chronic tiredness is a sign that there's something deeper going on, and your body is signaling to you that it cannot continue on at this pace. If you force it to, really bad things happen, and you go from exhaustion to various types of setups for disease. So I had to ask myself, what is the real reason behind this epidemic, and what is it that's causing so much exhaustion? Most people think that being tired is just about not getting enough rest. But again, in the intro, we shared that there's a deeper situation playing out that the body is making us aware of. Science tells us that it's way more complex than we even thought it might be. According to the American Psychological Association, mental fatigue can be just as draining as physical fatigue, if not more. And when your mind is overloaded with stress, the stress of the day, the stress of life, emotional stress, and you get to a point where you start to have decision fatigue, your body is feeling that as well. And to the extent that this becomes a norm in your life, that's the greater degree to which you experience the upper echelon of exhaustion. It's not just about how many hours you're in the bed anymore. That's not it. It's about what's happening in your mind and your environment and how that is impacting the time that you're in the bed. So big idea here is we've got way too much stress going on. And the hormones of stress are playing out like theater in all of our lives to the extent that burnout, exhaustion, and fatigue in the higher levels are playing out. And this is not a cycle that our bodies can sustain. There's a psychology of sorts that's tied to tiredness. Here's something that I'm certain that you didn't know. Your brain uses 20% of your body's energy, even though it's only about 2% of your total body weight. That means that overthinking, constant self-criticism, and even perfectionism can literally drain your energy reserves. You've heard me say, family, for a long time now, better than 2 years, that we all have a finite amount of emotional capital and energy for the day. And if we exhaust it too quickly, too early in the day, then we begin borrowing from the next day. This is, in fact, the setup for the psychology of tiredness. Dr. Susan Dalton Smith, she's a physician and author. She says that we're suffering from rest deficit because we don't understand the different types of rest we need. It's not just sleep, but it's emotional rest, it's mental rest, And in a day and age like we live in, it's even social rest. I wanted to make sure you had a very good foundation before we moved on to some of the action steps. So as of now, you are well aware that there are things in every one of the episodes we bring that we can do to change this narrative. First thing is to get curious about your specific tiredness. Is it physical? Is it mental? Or is it emotional? And start tracking your energy levels throughout the day so that you can notice what's draining you the most. It's no different than any of the other mindset issues that we deal with here on this podcast. We need to have a catalog of sort in our journal so we know what we're dealing with, so we know how to prioritize the efforts that are necessary for us to overcome them. Next, I want you to set boundaries around your time and energy. We're going to be talking about saying no here in a couple of weeks. That's going to be a phenomenal boundary that you can incorporate to really help manage your time and energy. But it also means that you're going to have to become very comfortable with saying no and selectively doing those things that you truly get value from, that you get gain from, and sliding to the side those things that you used to just arbitrarily say yes to, and set a window, if you will, of opportunity for those types of things, maybe 2 hours a week, and allow yourselves to be active in those types of pursuits in that window, but nothing more. This is really about, again, managing your time and your energy so that you don't have to deal with being tired all the time. One of the strategies that I like to practice too is called micro rests. And these are short intentional breaks where you step away from work, you turn off the phone, and you say to yourself, I'm going to do something that makes me feel good. I'm going to do something that recharges my mind. I'm going to do something that's going to allow me to relax a little bit. Because the research is profound here, and it shows that even 2-minute pauses can lower your stress hormones and allow you to regroup and refocus. And don't forget to check your self-talk. We can be our harshest critics. And to the extent that you are allowing yourself to be very critical of yourself, we are compounding the whole story and the narrative around stressors. So if you find yourself in that situation, try flipping the script and speaking to yourself like you love yourself, like you are your best friend, like you like being in you. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean. There's power in small changes. Remember, you don't have to overhaul your entire life to feel better. We said we needed to manage our time and our energy. 2 things, family, just 2 things. And just doing these 2 small things can create huge dividends for us. Maybe it's going to bed 15 minutes early. Maybe it's taking a walk in between various work cycles. When I was in corporate, the people who smoke cigarettes, they got 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon. I didn't smoke, but I would take myself a little walk around the building and do a sort of standing meditation where I'm just literally focused and zoned in on getting myself back to homeostasis if I've been having a really tough day. There are little small steps that you can do like this to really give you an edge. And the key is consistency. This is not a one and done. This becomes a lifestyle change. It's not a diet, right? James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, says, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Build systems that support your energy, that support your time, and that don't drain you. I wanted to bring this to your attention because, again, it's epidemic. There's so many things that are now becoming epidemics in the world we live in. So if you're tired all the time, you're not alone. You've got company, but that doesn't mean you get to stay there. We need action to create a difference. And know that you're not broken. You just need to manage your time and your energy. And if you'll take the time to write down what's going on, what it is that's consuming your time, and how your energy is being distributed throughout the day, and what are those triggers of sort that come into your lives that really get you spun up and start thinking in negative cycles. These things you can begin to prioritize and go after in such a way that now we've got a strategy to deal with it. And know that to the extent that you have awareness of this, now you are responsible for creating a difference. And I submit that this has a bit of or that previous statement had a little bit of an edge to it, but I need you to get out of this cycle. Please and thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today for this episode. I trust that it was very helpful for you. Do consider leaving us a rating and a review if the content is helpful. Feel free to connect with us through our Linktree link. The link is available in the show notes. Until next time, take care and keep managing your energy and your time.